where I belong. Yeah, I never felt so strong. I'm back, I'm feeling like there's nothing I can't try.
Hello, and thanks for checking out our video. I imagine you're here because, well, you've signed up for PPS Virtual Learning with in-building support. Or maybe you're just curious about what PPS Virtual Learning with in-building support looks like. In either case, we're so very excited that you're here with us. Come on, let's take a look.
A day of virtual learning with in-building support really starts at home. In order for us to have the necessary spaces and staff ready for our in-building students in advance, we ask that you sign up for in-building access no later than Thursday before each week you plan to come into the building. To sign up, navigate to the Portage Central High School website and fill out the form linked at the top of the page. For example, if you plan to come into the building on Wednesday, September 9th and Thursday, September 10th, you would need to register via the link by Thursday, September 4th.
When you arrive at school, whether you take the bus, drive, get dropped off, walk, or ride your bike, you will enter through the main doors by the student parking lot. The building will remain locked until 7:15 a.m. and first hour begins at 7:40 a.m. And don't forget, you must make sure that you bring the materials necessary to access and engage in your virtual classes throughout the day. This includes a charged Chromebook, a Chromebook charger, class supplies like textbooks, class folders or notebooks, pens or pencils, and your student planner. If you're not going to be ordering school lunch, you'll want to make sure you bring your lunch too.
Before you enter the building, please put on your mask. Masks are a required part of in-building support. They help keep you and others safe. As you wait outside and as you enter the building, please be sure to maintain an appropriate distance between yourself and other incoming students.
You'll notice that some of our doors are exit only and some are entry only. That's required under our district's health and safety plan. When you arrive, you'll want to check the screens in the Welcome Center for any daily announcements. Those screens will also include a list of locations in our building being used for in-building support. It will also show you where you've been assigned in terms of what classroom you need to go to that particular day. Maps will also be posted nearby for your reference. If you're new to PC, welcome. Our staff can help direct you where to go. You just have to ask.
Using that information, you will head directly to the location you've been assigned. Academic wings will be closed off to students, which also means that you will not be using your lockers this year. Instead, you may bring your backpack with you to your assigned location. By heading directly to your class, you will help us keep the hallways safe and clear. Unfortunately, also for health and safety reasons, you will not be able to visit any other room other than the one to which you are assigned.
If you are a sophomore, junior, or senior, you'll likely recognize the staff members who will greet you as you arrive at your assigned location. Familiar faces like Mrs. Cutler, Mr. Turner, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Cook will be supporting students who signed up to learn virtually at school. If you're a freshman, you'll have time to get to know these veteran staff members. Upon entry to your classroom supervisor will direct you to an assigned seat, which will be yours for the remainder of the day. We're keeping seats assigned for a few reasons, the most important being the health and safety of those attending in person. For example, keeping assigned seats helps us reduce the chance of cross-contamination of surfaces and allows us to maintain social distancing guidelines.
Virtual learning in the building will look almost exactly like what virtual learning will look like at home. You'll have the same exact virtual access to your teachers whether you are here or at home. The biggest difference is that here you will have access to the school's internet. You will also be in a room with a staff member the whole time, which might help keep you on track. You will need to be in your assigned seat and location for the full school day, whereas at home you do have more freedom of movement. That said, there are breaks built into the schedule in between classes to allow you to stretch and use the restroom whether you are here or at home.
Here is a look at our daily schedule. Just before first hour begins, you'll want to set up your space and join your virtual class meeting. This includes putting in your headphones so as not to disrupt other learners in your assigned location who will, more than likely, be learning from different teachers than you. It would be a good idea, too, to pull up your Google Classroom page to review any information your teacher may have posted before the day's lesson. Uh-oh, it looks like you have a missing assignment. Now would be a great time to get those written down in your planner so that you don't forget to complete them. When your first hour Google Meet begins, your teacher will be taking attendance, just as they would do in a face-to-face scenario. So don't be late.
What's cool about virtual learning this fall is that virtual lessons are designed by your classroom teacher with the needs of you and your classmates specifically in mind. What that means is the amount of time that you're in the Google Meet with each of your classroom teachers will vary each class period. They might provide breakout rooms for you to get into groups and come back all together toward the end of class.
Or they might provide instructions on how to complete an assignment and then give you the remainder of the class period to work on it while they stay in Google Meet to answer any questions that you might have.
Regardless of what format the class takes, though, joining the Google Meet for each class at the start of each class is mandatory, as teachers are required by the state to take attendance.
And completing the work that your teacher assigned to you as part of the class is really important because it's used to determine your grade and whether you get credit in the class.
Virtual learning this fall is not like last spring, where there was only one required assignment per week. This fall, we are back to normal, where individual teachers determine the number of assignments required and how many points those assignments are worth. The expectation for everyone is to either be participating in a Google Meet or working on assigned classwork during the school day. If you've ever had a seminar, in-building support is very much like one.
Students will have the opportunity to get up and stretch, take a walk, and to use the restroom during passing periods. The passing periods will be much more organized than a typical year, though, in that students will be released classroom by classroom at predetermined times to maintain distance and to help ensure that germs are not spread between cohorted groups of students. Weather permitting, our passing periods will include some time outside for fresh air and the ability to get a mask break when appropriately distanced from classmates. In the building, we will ensure that restroom capacity is reduced to maintain appropriate social distancing standards.
School lunch will be available Mondays through Thursdays. If paying by cash, it must be exact change in an envelope. All transactions will be done electronically through your Send Money to School account. Lunches will be ordered by a form daily. All food service orders must be submitted at sendmoneytoschool.com by 9:30 a.m. At lunchtime, these students will walk as a cohort down to the cafeteria to pick up their lunches and eat. You will be assigned a location to eat in the commons, as well socially distanced from classmates. While seated at your lunch table, you are welcome to take off your mask. While walking to or from your lunch table for any reason, you'll need to keep your mask on. If you're thinking about ordering lunch, we're sorry to say that restaurant deliveries cannot be accommodated at this time.
At the end of the school day, students are to report to their pickup location. If you're riding the bus, you will leave through the front doors and proceed to the temporary bus loop between the student lot and Westnedge. If you're getting picked up by a parent, you'll also leave through the main doors and get picked up in either of the drop-off loops. Or if you're driving yourself or your siblings home, you will head to the student lot. While we are in Phase 4 virtual learning, if you are a student driver, you will need to get a free temporary parking permit. This pass will be good for the entire time we are in Phase 4 virtual learning.
If you are involved in an activity or athletics after school, you'll go straight to that location. If your activity meets later at the end of the school day, you won't be able to stay at school for that. The school has to be cleared by 2:50.
We hope that this glimpse of an in-building day answers a few questions for you. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day and be safe.